It's real talk. Man, it's real talk with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the man got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's a local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on this Monday, the first Monday of May 2021. You are listening to Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to be here, very happy to be anywhere because, you know, it has always been said that it is better to be seen than to be viewed. I hope that you and yours are doing well. And I hope that everything is going well for you. Speaking of going well, before I even get too deep into this tonight, I want to congratulate the staff of WYXR 91.7 FM. You know, last week was Pledge Week, right? And they had a goal of $20,000. Well, they just blew that right out of the water. They exceeded their goals. I think it was like $35,000. So thank you, Mid-South. Thank you, Memphis. Thank you, everybody who contributed to this fine community radio station. Thank you, because, hey, without you, there would be no us. And to all the folks that work here, not just the big three, Robbie, JB, and Shelby, but the volunteers and all the folks who are on the air and behind the mic, thank you all as well. A very, very successful event, and that's good stuff here. Oh my goodness, all these sponsors going on here for the month of May. We Loaded for Bear, Sterling Building Specialist, Crosstown Dental, Involved Client Services, Grinder Tabber Grinder. That's interesting to say. Next there, Bible and Tire Record Company and Mempho Fest. Absolutely, Mempho Fest. And speaking of Mempho Fest, they ran down their list of acts, and we'll be popping them in from time to time as well. And so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So anyway, I hope, as I said, you're doing well. It was warm today, was it not? My goodness, pushing 90 degrees, upper 80s. That just means that we have storms heading our way tonight and overnight and into tomorrow. And some of those storms might have a bit of a pop to them. So just be weather conscious as you would, or, you know, as they tell you. And if you have weather radios, you might want to keep them tuned. Because, you know, we're at that time of year. Spring storms are nothing to play with. They are pretty tough stuff. Hey, we have a pretty good show tonight. I think that you will like it. I hope that you will. I did. And, I picked them. So, yeah, I think I'll like them. Marc Morial is my first guest. He is the former mayor of the city of New Orleans. I want to say 2 or 3 times. I know he was at least 2-time mayor. He might have been 3-time mayor of New Orleans. He is now currently the president and CEO of the National Urban League. And we're going to talk a lot about civil rights and the path forward with the new administration that his organization is expecting. So we'll do that in a few minutes. Also on the show tonight, we're going to talk to a young lady who has been around Memphis and the Mid-South for quite some time. She is an entrepreneur. She is a radio station owner. She is the president and CEO of the Juneteenth Festival. And we're going to talk about that festival in particular tonight because it has changed venues for the first time in quite a while. Her name is Telisa Franklin, and she will join me the second half of the show. And someone I'm very excited to talk to coming up as well. His name is Smayan Sompalli, and he is 15 years old. He is a sophomore at Houston High School in Germantown, and he has kind of made all of us become more conscious and aware of what is going on out here in our world. He is of Indian descent. And if you haven't been living under a rock for the past 2 weeks, you understand what is going on in the country of India right now in terms of COVID-19. I mean to tell you, thousands and thousands of people, 3,000 to 4,000 new cases every single day on that in that country. Hundreds and hundreds of folks dying every single day. They don't have oxygen. They don't have the proper supplies. They are really struggling. Well, this young man, all of age 15, has decided to create a GoFundMe account, COVID-19 support for India. And it is, I guess, with the hashtag beyond beyond inequality. Support for India, beyond inequality. And yeah, you can say that again. Well, he started a GoFundMe page 2 or 3 days ago with a goal of $10,000. He's gotten almost halfway there already. So we're going to talk to him, what made him decide to be involved in this effort, what made him decide that he wanted to raise money for such an impoverished country that is going through such deep trauma right now in terms of infections and lives and deaths and everything else. So very impressive. I'm looking forward to talking to him as well. And there's a backstory to that too, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But as we always do, news and notes. And before I even get started, May Nation, May, like the month of May, like this month, May Nation, rise up. Now, I say that because I think May is a fine month for almost anything. I just think May is a damn fine month. I really, really do. I don't know exactly why, but it'll probably come into focus a little bit further down into the month. But anyway, if you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or a special occasion in the month of May, or at least this past weekend or today, congratulations to each and every one of you. I hope you had a wonderful time. I'm over here at the Crosstown Concourse, and I saw a couple of folks walk out of here with some caps and gowns on. So that does remind me that, not only do I have a couple of seniors in Adam and Marquette working with me, but, we're getting close to graduation time here. Yeah, a lot of folks about to get on out of here. Marquette's leaving us and going to Atlanta and has absolutely no remorse at all. In his choice, none whatsoever. He's going to Clark, Atlanta. We are very, very, very proud of him. So quick news and notes before we jump into the big broadcast tonight. Many of you probably heard a very tragic story. A woman by the name of Laurencia Reed on Friday stabbed her 10-year-old daughter. Unfortunately, she died, and she also stabbed her 18-year-old sister. The little girl was identified as Kamari Reed. She, of course, this is an extraordinarily tragic story. The mother is charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder, of course, of her daughter and her 18-year-old sister. There's going to be some mental evaluation involved in that, I'm sure, but that is extraordinarily tragic for the family and all those concerned, and we offer our prayers to them during this extremely difficult time. Also, if you remember about a week or so ago, that a young lady got into a bit of a dispute at a daycare facility here in town, actually fired a shot into the daycare. No one was hurt. No one was hit. No one was injured. Thank the Lord. But Deja Taylor is the young lady's name who got into an altercation with somebody who worked at the facility. She turned herself in, and now she is going to make, she made a court appearance today. Her bond has been set at $250,000. Now, there's been some debate and some discussion about, okay, she was charged with, I believe, 63 counts. I don't know, of aggravated assault or something to that effect. 55 children were in the daycare at the time, and then the rest were staff members, folks who worked there. So I guess the question is, and you can ponder it in your mind, did she deserve to be charged with 63 counts? I don't know. But that's kind of what happened. And as I said, she's in jail on $250,000 bond. So we will see how all that shakes out. Have you noticed, if you walk around the streets or if you're just kind of feeling the vibe, things are starting to pop back into normal a bit around here. We're talking about this past weekend, there was the St. Patty's Day parade on Beale Street, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people out there enjoying themselves, having a good time. Not a lot of masks going on, but you can sort of feel the vibe, right? Things are starting to percolate here. Concerts are being planned, and some of the major events are starting to formulate as well. Next week, the Memphis in May barbecue cooking contest will be in town. Shelby's going, yeah, next weekend, and it'll be scaled down, but nonetheless, there will still be plenty of folks out there and plenty of food and plenty of drinks. So, govern yourselves accordingly, my friends. As I said earlier, we're going to talk a little bit later about the annual Juneteenth Urban Music Festival, which, by the way, Juneteenth has been declared a holiday, county holiday, this year. But there is going to be a move. It has been at Robert Church Park for many years, and it is going to be moving to Health Sciences Park. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on in the show with Telisa Franklin. I said earlier, but I'm serious about this. We do have some storms moving in late tonight, overnight tonight, and into tomorrow as well. According to the weather folks, could be a bit on the severe side. So one needs to take heed in terms of that. Hang on just a second. See, when I get text messages from folks, I have to kind of figure out exactly what's going on. Okay. My first guest is waiting to be let into the Zoom. So, Adam, let's go to break. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. When we come back, we're going to kick things off. The show resumes right after this break.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Looking for some place to showcase your talents while learning about the radio broadcasting industry at the same time? Well, bring your talents to The Roar and WYXR. Join The Roar, the University of Memphis student-led radio live stream where you can serve as a DJ, work in news or sports, as well as several other creative opportunities. We are also looking for U of M students to serve as interns with WYXR 91.7 FM. For general information or questions regarding WYXR or The Roar, please email us at theroar@memphis.edu.
Must be a current student or a recent graduate of the University of Memphis.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Brewery. Now available, the Studio Session IPA, Raised by Sound, was brewed in collaboration with WYXR. A percentage of all sales benefit our station. For more information, visit crosstownbrewery.com.
Crosstown Concourse was founded on the idea that we are all better when we are together, which can be difficult these days. Luckily, Concourse has over 1 million square feet of indoor and outdoor space, so you can spread out while you hang out, eat out, or work out. Learn more at crosstownconcourse.com.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this first Monday in May. I am your humble host, Chip Washington, and I am very, very happy to have our first guest with us. He is the former mayor of the city of New Orleans, which is one of my favorite spots to hang out. He is currently the president and CEO of the National Urban League. He is Marc Morial. And Marc, are you there?
I'm right here, man. Good to be with you, Chip. Thank you. And good afternoon and good evening to Memphis.
Absolutely. Absolutely that. And thank you again for taking some time, because I know how busy a man you are. So we're going to jump right into it and talk about a few things. Of course, obviously, recently we have been dealing with a series of events that none of us really wanted to deal with. I did see you, your presence at the Derek Chauvin trial for George Floyd. I saw you there. I also saw you, I believe, at the funeral of, forgive me, Dante
Wright.
Dante Wright in Minnesota. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, of course, today they had the funeral for Andre Brown Jr. So I guess I want to start out by asking you, when you see these events that have happened, and it seemed like it's been a minute, but they've been back to back to back, what goes through you? What do you think about?
My stomach turns. My gut is wrenched. My sadness and anger collide. My feeling that this is not right, this is not fair, that this is nothing but a 21st century lynching. That's what really goes through my mind. And it means we have to stop it. We have to protest and litigate and activate and vote, call on public officials at every single level. And we have to hold these police officers who kill our brothers and sisters accountable. These are criminal activities. Andrew Brown, the young man in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, was shot in the back of the head. And common sense, as well as most police department have protocols that you don't shoot into a moving car. Right. Because the consequences could be so great. The idea that people could get killed. This was a botched effort to execute an arrest warrant for, quote unquote, the sale of narcotics. That's what it was. Yes. And in the Derek Chauvin case, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Yeah. But in that instance, for once, because of the conviction, justice was done in that instance. Accountability has taken place in that instance, but we await the sentencing. It remains to be seen if this judge has the courage to, if you will, carry out an appropriate sentence, which I think should be higher than the guidelines because of the aggravating circumstances. He refused, Derek Chauvin, to even show any compassion to George Floyd when he yelled out dozens of times that he could not breathe. So my gut is wrenched, as is yours, as is people all across this community. Sure. And all across the nation, not just black people, but black people certainly. But anyone that favors justice or fairness cannot look at this and not believe that an injustice is being done. For me, this goes all the way back to Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and Tamir Rice and Eric Garner. This goes on and on. It's been a series. It's been a pandemic. It's been a pattern of brutality, misconduct, and abuse. The video cameras, the body cameras are catching these acts right in the cold.
That's true.
And so we fought for these body cams 6-7 years ago, and now that they're becoming more commonly used, the truth, as we expected, the truth will come out. But my hope is that those who are in law enforcement, who are listening or who are watching this, will not feel a responsibility to associate themselves with brutal cops, and that they will recognize that they have a duty to intervene. They have a duty to blow the whistle. They have a duty not to stand by a dirty cop or a bad cop, but to stand by their oath of office, which is to protect and serve the citizens of the community where they work.
So we are speaking with Marc Morial. He is the president and CEO of the National Urban League, and you brought up some very good points. But I did hear you not too long ago talk about your role in terms of helping to get the current president elected, but you also had an agenda of things that you wanted to see him move forward with. Can you talk a little bit about some of the initiatives and things that you'd like to see moving forward?
So we laid out for President Biden when he was a candidate for public office. We did, the National Urban League, as did many of us in the civil rights community. Those things we wanted to see the president carry out if he was elected. I think at the 100-day mark, he's met my early expectations for the most part, not with absolute perfection, but with an energy and a passion. His cabinet is diverse. He has also appointed two civil rights leaders, Vanita Gupta and Kristen Clark, to important positions in the Department of Justice. He has appointed Black women, Marcia Fudge, Cecilia Rouse, Susan Rice, to name a few, to important roles in his administration. He has been very upfront about white supremacy, white nationalism, and the necessity for the nation to commit to racial justice. He's appointed 3 Black women to the federal bench as his first judicial appointees. So, but there is work to be done. We need the minimum wage bill to pass. It's out of the House, pending in the Senate. We need the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. It's out of the House. It's stalled in the Senate. We need the 2 democracy bills, the For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, to pass. One of them's already out of the House, waiting in the Senate. Is there a pattern here? Yeah, the pattern is that the United States Senate has erected what in effect is a naval blockade against that legislation that we know the president is committed to and that we need for this nation and for this community. So we have to continue to work and fight. And more specifically, what stands in the way is not the United States Senate, but the Senate filibuster stands in the way of meaningful, substantial legislation. We are in a new time in American history, and bipartisanship is nice, but the goal should be to pass meaningful legislation. Bipartisanship to me is not an end. It's only a means to an end. Simply because something is, quote, bipartisan doesn't mean that it's better than something that isn't. We have to fix the problems in this nation, the deep, if you will, economic divide that exists. We have to rebuild coming out of COVID, 11 million Americans out of work, large numbers of Black Americans and brown Americans, not only out of work, have lost their lives in this pandemic, as have many. There is work to do. You will hear hype from some saying the economy is fine. It's coming back. For the wealthiest Americans, for the best off Americans, certainly they work from home. They didn't miss a paycheck. They got through the pandemic. Those are not the experiences of most people. Those are not the experiences of those who've historically been locked out and left out. And that's where the National Urban League is going to continue to work. So we give the president good marks. He's got Cedric Richmond, who is from New Orleans and also someone with whom I have worked for many, many years,
Right.
In his inner circle.
Right.
So this president has probably beat many people's expectations in terms of how he has gotten off to a quick and an assertive start, which is what you have to do when you're president. And this is not about perfection. What this is about is whether this president is going to live up to what he said he would do as a candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, at this early juncture, he's met the National Urban League's expectations.
So he's taking steps in the right direction, and we're spending the last couple of minutes with Marc Morial. He is the president and CEO of the National Urban League. So as we continue to march forward, there's clearly a lot on the plate. But let me just ask you one final question. If you can project, say, a year out, what would you like to see as the template of this country, say, about a year from now?
Well, I think I'd like to see us, move towards full employment with an increase in the minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act pass and the For the People Act to stop voter suppression to protect democracy.
Right.
And I'd like to see substantial movement in the direction of police reform with the passage of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And I might add, action at the local level, which for those who are interested, the National Urban League has released its 21 Pillars for Police Reform Plan that is available at nul.org, our website,
Okay.
so that people can be a part of making this change and bringing about this change. And I want to shout out the leader of the Memphis Urban League, Tanya Sesley-Bayman,
Absolutely.
who is my colleague in Memphis, and thank her for all her hard work and her leadership as well tonight also.
Well, listen, we thank you for all your hard work and your leadership, and more importantly, your passion for equity for all. And I really, once again, want to thank you for taking time, because I know by the way, you have a crack staff, because they have texted me twice and wanted to make sure that you were on. I finally texted them. I said, we're talking now. They were like, phew.
Good. Yeah. Well, hey, they're on it, because we got to transition to 2 more meetings later this evening. In fact, one in a few minutes. But I want to thank you and thank the people of Memphis and appreciate you creating an opportunity for me to bring some thoughts to your listeners tonight. God bless you, and everyone stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Marc. Really appreciate it. Marc Morial, President, CEO of the National Urban League, our guest. When we come back after this short break, we're going to roll on the big broadcast. Next, we're going to talk to a 15-year-old young man who has really dedicated his time and dedication to the motherland of which he hails, which is India. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are. We'll take a quick break, and we will be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Are you a University of Memphis student who is looking for some place to showcase your talents while learning about the radio broadcasting industry at the same time? Well, bring your talents to The Roar and WYXR. Join The Roar, the University of Memphis student-led radio live stream, where you can serve as a DJ, work in news or sports, or other creative roles. We are also looking for U of M students to serve as interns with WYXR 91.7 FM, the university's radio partnership with Crosstown Concourse and the Daily Memphian. For more information or questions regarding WYXR or The Roar, please email us at theroar@memphis.edu.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Concourse, offering over 1 million square feet of climate-controlled space to freely run, walk, or jog, take in a YMCA class, or grab and explore a bike share ride on the nearby V&E Green Line. For more information, visit crosstownconcourse.com.
The stuff that WYXR brings to the airwaves is already playing in the parking lots and basements where the next generation's journey is just getting started. And we can't imagine building the brands we do without the role music played in our lives. No matter what kind of art you make, music is what sets you on your path. Loaded for Bear is proud to support WYXR and community radio everywhere.
Support for WYXR comes from the Orpheum Theater Group, presenting Candlelight Concerts, an outdoor experience. On Friday, May 14th, local singer-songwriter Amy LaVere will take the stage. Her multi-genre style and piercing lyrics are the perfect complement to a night under the stars. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
I'm like the others, have wandered in search of my home.
The River Series returns to the amphitheater at the Maria Montessori School in Harbortown on May 22nd with Amy LaVere and Will Sexton. More information and tickets at riverseries.org. Brought to you by Wiseacre Brewing, Cordelia's Market, Regional One Health, and Ghana Records.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis. This is Chip Washington, and I am very happy to have you with me on this Monday evening. We just wrapped up a conversation with Marc Morial, the president and CEO of the National Urban League, and got his thoughts on some things. And now we're going to shift directions. I saw this story. And well, let me back up. Many of you are still aware that COVID-19 is still, a global pandemic, no more so than in India, where we have seen daily thousands. They break a new record every day in terms of thousands of new cases, 3,000+, 4,000+. Yesterday, new cases. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deaths. And if you've watched any television and you've seen CNN or any of the other broadcasts, you have seen up close and personal just the extraordinary sadness and tragedy that is going on over there right now. Well, that has compelled one young man here in Shelby County, Germantown to be exact, to not stand on the sidelines, but to get involved in a way that could actually mean something to someone else. His name is Smayan Sompalli, and he is 15 years old. He is a sophomore at Houston High School. And Smayan, you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, first of all, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And thank your mom for me for giving you permission. I appreciate her.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, you are of Indian descent, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And, I guess I want to ask you first and foremost, watching this or whatever relatability you have to this, besides being this your native country land, how were you affected by what you have seen and are seeing today?
I mean, it's pretty sad. I think the thing that affected me most was seeing all those bodies in the streets.
Yes.
Because they didn't have anywhere to bury them. So I think that's what affected me the most, I'd say.
Well, so it affected you in a way that you decided that you wanted to reach out and you wanted to do something to try to help those folks. So tell me about your thought process and what you decided to do.
So I decided to start a GoFundMe. Because I realized that even $5 could save someone's life with a PPE or just a simple hospital bed. you could save someone's life. And so I decided to start the GoFundMe to raise enough money to where we could make an impact on a larger scale. And that's why I decided to start the GoFundMe.
So you started the GoFundMe when exactly?
Friday evening.
And it is, I'm looking at my clock, it's 6:35 p.m. Central Time. At this moment in time, how much money have you raised so far?
$4,600.
$4,600. You started this on Friday night, and what is your goal?
$10,000.
$10,000. And do you have any idea in terms of the say you reach your goal? Because I believe you're going to reach it, because I know not only folks in the Mid-South who have been affected and are affected by what they see are going to step up and help you with that. But what do you think that $10,000 could do over there to help in this situation?
Oxygen tanks have the costs of them have gone up exponentially, and I think we're going to prevent a lot of preventable deaths.
Well, they're averaging, I think, hundreds and hundreds of deaths per day. And I think what really moved me when I saw some of the coverage was I saw a reporter actually standing in a yard or in an area where a cremation area where they have to cremate, where they're cremating the bodies, and they don't really have enough room for that. I mean, how do you feel when you see something like that?
I mean, it's sad, because, people have loved ones, and it's heartbreaking because they can't even have a proper, funeral service for them because the funeral services are overwhelmed, and it's pretty sad.
What is it that you want people to know here that may not know? Now, we did talk during the break. Your grandmother did contract COVID, but I'm to also understand, is she on the mend? Is she recovering? Is she feeling better?
Yeah, she's doing pretty good.
Yeah. So what is it that, when you obviously you sort of experienced it firsthand in terms of a family member, but what should people know about what is going on in India in terms of this horrific virus? What should people here know about that and what they can do to try to help?
We don't think these kind of things are going to happen to us or the people that are close to us until they actually happen. And, we also don't live in a bubble. We saw it with the UK strain, the South African strain, and now the India strain, that if we're going to get out of this, we all have to step up and collaborate and play our part.
Well, absolutely that. And you're playing your part. Now, before we get out of here, I need you to give people the information they need and go to GoFundMe on the Facebook page. Give them whatever information they need in terms of reaching out and contributing to what it is you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. The GoFundMe link is gofundme.com/India Relief.
Okay. So they can, and say that one more time, just in case somebody didn't hear that. Say it again.
GoFundMe.com/India Relief.
Okay. And so they can go there and as per usual, GoFundMe, there's a link to donate and all the information is there. And all of the money that you are raising is going to go directly to who?
With Oxfam, a charity that's working on the ground in India. Through Oxfam America, all the money will be routed to Oxfam India. And that's where it'll be used.
Well, I tell you what, it really is, and and I don't want to make you feel embarrassed or anything, but I have to admit that I don't know too many 15-year-olds that have the heart to give like you do. And the heart to help others that you do. I saw on the page it said COVID-19 support for India #Beyond Inequality. What did you mean by that?
Well, India is one of those countries where if you kind of look at some of the situations where people live, slums, they don't have access to all these basic medical equipment like, say, masks here, which are available by the plenty. They're just not as fortunate as we are here in the States. And that doesn't mean that somebody should have to choose between life and death because they don't have access to some of the things we have here.
Absolutely amazing. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to actually give to something that will make you feel good about it, and I want you to know, young man, that I'm going to donate as well. I didn't say that for any other reason other than your story touched me. If you all did not catch him on Fox 13 News, was it last night the story was on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You should go to the website and check him out and check out the story about what he's trying to do. Smayan, listen, I know that this is going to be a successful enterprise for you, and something tells me it's not going to be the end for you in terms of help and assistance. But I know that you are a tuba player, and I know that you have practice at 7:00. So I'm going to let you get back and get ready for that. But thank you so much for taking some time to talk to our listening audience, and we'll be keeping tabs on it. And I believe by the time I'm on the air next Monday, I'll be saying that you have reached your goal and maybe even beyond. But thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Okay.
I'm hoping for it. Thank you
for
having me.
Yes, sir. Take care. Take care. Well, now, I'm all about trying to help other folks in whatever way it is that we try to do that. This particular effort by this young man deserves to be recognized. And as I said, I am going to donate as soon as I get off the air, as a matter of fact. And if you care about your fellow man or your fellow woman or your fellow child and what they're going through, particularly in that country. I know we have issues here in this country, but I think a lot of times we need to reach outside of ourselves and to try to help other people. And I'm praying that is the case with Smayan Sompalli and his effort to try to help those folks over in the country of India. With that, we are going to take our final break, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about the Juneteenth Festival with my good friend, Miss Telisa Franklin. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Take one final break and be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Brewery. Now available, the Studio Session IPA, Raised by Sound, brewed in collaboration with WYXR. For more information, crosstownbrewery.com.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Concourse, offering over 1 million square feet of climate-controlled space to freely run, walk, or jog, take in a YMCA class, or grab and explore a bike share ride on the nearby V&E Green Line. For more information, visit crosstownconcourse.com.
The River Series returns to the amphitheater at the Maria Montessori School in Harbortown on May 22nd with Amy LaVere and Will Sexton. More information and tickets at riverseries.org. Brought to you by Wiseacre Brewing, Cordelia's Market, Regional One Health, and Ghana Records.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis. I am your host, Chip Washington. Been a great show so far, and my next guest is pretty great as well. She has been, if you've been around Memphis and Mid-South for a while, you know her. She has been a media radio personality. She has been an entrepreneur. She's a CEO. She does just too many things for one particular person or individual. That's why I think she's cloned. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So I would like to welcome to the program my friend, Miss Telisa Franklin. Telisa, hi.
Hey, Chip, how are you?
I'm doing, she's tickled. I'm doing
Your
well.
Your introduction is crazy.
Yeah, well, you're, let me tell you something. You're a busy person. And having said that, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to come on the show. I appreciate you.
I'm excited. I'm honored to always just to be a part of great people, and you're just one of those great guys.
Oh, that's just so nice. So listen, you actually you own and run a radio station in this town. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But you made some news on Friday. You all had a press conference, you and Van Turner, president of the local NAACP chapter, about the upcoming Juneteenth festival event. And and I'm not going to steal the thunder in reference to that, but I will say that it's a bit different this year in terms of location. So I'll let you take the floor from there.
Absolutely. And definitely this location was fitting for Juneteenth, being that this year is the first year that the state, the county, and the city has recognized Juneteenth, right?
Yes.
I have been the leader of the Juneteenth Festival for now the last 8 years, but we've been in existence for 28 years. Glenn Johns Reeves passed me the torch 8 years ago, so I'm going into my 9th year as reign. And so on this year, we was like, okay, what can we do? Juneteenth, of course, it started in Douglas Park, where it was the first Black park where Black people can play golf. So there was so much history there.
Sure.
Then we moved it to downtown Memphis, Robert R. Church Park. And we know the millionaire did all the great things he did for our amazing city. And then I was like, anybody know me? When I first took over Juneteenth, I had a mantra. It was one God, one love, one city. Because I believe we're all as one, right? And I believe that it's going to take us to merge us together, right?
Yep.
And so not just for Black, not just for white, but for us together as a whole, because Memphis is not one race. We're a multifaceted race, and we just need to work together. So I was like, what could we do this year, being that last year we was virtual, COVID is still around? What can we do this year to continue to bridge the gap where we lack in racial division and racial reconciliation?
Yes.
And I was like, you know what, God, speak to my heart so I can lead this in the right way. And of course, this park in which we decided to move to was Health Sciences Park. Was me and my team, we felt this is the move for racial reconciliation, right? Because we're able to now to see that what once was a park that only one race enjoyed, now all races will be able to enjoy this park, because Juneteenth means freedom.
Right.
And freedom is about to be whomever and whatever you choose to be, and literally love on everybody. And so I believe this year Juneteenth Festival will be a little different to some, but for ones that appreciate trying to bring the racial reconciliation here in our city and the entrepreneurship, because we have so many things going with even pushing young people to entrepreneurship with their vending booths. There's an amazing big vision, really just to pull people together. And so a lot of times people have the negative or the positive when they think about what used to be on those grounds of Health Sciences Park, right?
Sure.
And so we want to change the way people feel, and we just want to change the way people look at that park and say, hey, we are free and we're going to work together. And Memphis is made up of amazing people. And why not let's celebrate on those spots of ground where once it was a place that all Memphians did not feel comfortable, but now we all can feel comfortable to come out to celebrate Juneteenth, because Juneteenth does mean that we are free.
We are speaking with Miss Telisa Franklin, and she is the president, CEO, and the guiding light as pertains to the Juneteenth Festival that has shifted grounds from the Church Park to Health Sciences Park this year. And for those of us, or for those out there, not us, I know, but for those who don't know the significance of Juneteenth, can you briefly explain what the significance of it is?
Absolutely. I would be honored. One thing that when I took over, I want to make sure I wanted to make sure that people understood what Juneteenth means, right?
Right.
Juneteenth is a holiday in the U.S. that commemorates the announcements of the abomination of slavery and freeing of the last slaves in the state of Texas on June 19, 1865.
Right.
More generally, the emancipation of African American slaves throughout the Confederate South after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on September the 22nd, which was in 1862, which came in effective January 1, 1863. What really happened was 2.5 years later, an amazing man by the name of General Gordon Granger literally went on horse and buggy to Galveston, Texas, to share to the slaves to read the General Order Number 3. And a paraphrase of the General Order Number 3 said, all slaves are free. And so it was literally June 19, 1865 when that took place. And that's when it was coined as Juneteenth. Reason why we celebrate Juneteenth, because I believe we're not free until everybody is free. Even in our city, in our world, we're dealing with so many things that's trying to cripple us. And it's going to take somebody to say, hey, can we work together to make this better for our people?
So, having said what you just said in reference to that, this is the first time that I can I think there's ever been when all the municipalities have determined that Juneteenth will be a holiday this year. What do you think about all that?
Yes. For me, it was mind-blowing. I'm reminded of Glenn Jones-Reed, the young lady that literally brought Juneteenth to Memphis, right? Because Juneteenth is celebrated all around the world.
Right.
And Glenn, I believe right now, she is sharing, she's clapping in heaven, right? To see that everybody recognized the vision that she literally said 28 years ago, that we need to celebrate. We must celebrate Juneteenth. And now she's able to see her vision come to life even after her death. And that's one thing about vision. You have to make sure vision is in the hand of somebody that can continue the vision on. And one thing about this, it is important that we have been doing Juneteenth in Memphis for 28 years. Memphis has been leading. I'm on the team of, I'm sorry, I get calls all the time. I'm on the team of the National Juneteenth, right?
Busy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What did you say, Chip?
I said busy. Go ahead.
I'm like, okay, y'all, I can't talk anymore. I'm on a part of the National Juneteenth, and we always are sharing what Memphis is doing, and I'm always proud. I just stick my chest out and say, y'all, we ain't new to this, y'all. We used to it. We've been celebrating Memphis Juneteenth for 20 plus years. Right. So we will celebrate it before it was cool, before all the lights and camera. We were still being a champion that Memphis Juneteenth, we mean freedom, and we can do this together.
We are speaking with Telisa Franklin, and last couple of minutes here, Telisa, before you go, tell us, give us the rundown. Tell us the who, what, when, where of Juneteenth 2021.
Yes, Juneteenth 21 takes place always Father's Day weekend, June 18th and June 19th,
right?
In Health Sciences Park, right there at Union and South Dunlap. We will take over that park and we'll have an amazing time. That Friday is going to be an amazing time. And then we're having Inspiration Night. That means that 5 to 10 o'clock at night will be the best of Mid-South gospel artists with a headliner, world-renowned Ernest Pugh, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have that amazing event. And it's just going to be a great time, right? And then on Saturday morning, y'all, we're going to kick it out with the Freedom Walk, because we're going to have all cultures, all races, all ages. We're going to walk around that park and say, hey, y'all, we free. We're walking around this park, because many people that know the history of that particular park, there was a time when certain races, that people that look like you and I, Chip, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't walk in that park. And so not only will we walk in that park, but other cultures will walk in that park as well, right? Well, we'll be walking together, because this is what Memphis is about.
Yeah.
Unity, racial reconciliation.
That's right.
And then I'm all about the young people, because I am committed to seeing young people be great, right?
Yeah,
and so then the young people will take over the stage from 11 to 4, majorette dancers, singers, all of that great stuff. And then after that, we'll have amazing, great music, amazing vendors. And then we'll have a special, what we call the Wall Street, Black Wall Street, Black entrepreneurs, which are children selling their products and services. Because I always tell me, children are not our future, they're our now. What are we going to do with them now?
That's the boy. I tell you, that sounds like a whole lot in a couple of days. So if people want to get in touch, if people want to find out more information, give it out. Give it out.
Absolutely. Go to MemphisJuneteenth.com. Again, that's www.MemphisJuneteenth.com. Or they can always call us at 901-281-6337. Again, that's 901-281-6337.
Man, you get me all excited. Before you go, talk to us about briefly about your new radio venture that it seems to have been taking storm in this town. A new gospel presence has emerged. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm super excited. It's just not me. I'm just the one that's getting all the lights and the glory per se. I have an amazing team. I have an amazing team that makes WABN the trend what it is today. Literally, we believe that we're trending music, culture, and conversations. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that, Telisa? We're trending the best music. We're actually having the cultural conversation in which our culture needs to have. And then we're bringing it all together on the one channel. And that channel is FM 104, AM 1240, WABN, the trend.
Look, now, can you tell she's done just a little radio? I mean, just a little radio. Sister, we're still trying to bring her out. She's so shy, and everything.
Yeah.
But listen, my friend.
I'm an introvert. I really am an introvert.
Oh, right? Yeah. Yeah. I got I got it. So, listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show and for talking to us and for educating us and for getting us all pumped and excited for what's to come. And congratulations from me to you on the trend. That's a great radio station, and if anybody hadn't listened to it, you need to check it out. 104.1 on the FM dial. What is it? 1240 AM? Is that what you said?
AM 1240 and FM 104, WABN, the trend, and they can also listen online as well.
Of course they can. Telisa Franklin, thank you so much, my friend, and we'll be talking soon. Okay, take care of yourself.
All right, be blessed, is my friend.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and that wraps up a really good Real Talk Memphis. When I leave here on Monday evenings, I always sort of mentally process what has happened the past hour, and I really enjoyed this show. We have gotten some extraordinary information from some really, really good people. I want to thank Marc Morial, once again, President and CEO of the National Urban League. I want to thank Smayan Sompalli. He, of course, is the 15-year-old sophomore who is raising money via GoFundMe for the country of India, who is undergoing such tragedy right now. That's the only way to put it. So if you feel it in your heart and you feel compelled to do so, please donate to his effort to help the folks in India via his GoFundMe page. And finally, Miss Telisa Franklin talked to us about the Juneteenth Festival, gave us the history, gave us the rundown, and the whole 9 yards. So as Adam plays us out of this joint, I want to thank you all for giving us an hour of your time. And by the way, the show will be posted tomorrow, so you can get it wherever you get your favorite podcast. We're a podcast now. Did I tell you about that? Anyway, but thank you all for your support and for your encouragement. And listen, two things. If you know of a good guest that you would like to present to me in terms of coming on this broadcast, hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook or hit me up on cwrealtalk@gmail.com. cwrealtalk@gmail.com. Also, email me your questions for any particular guest I might have. So in the meantime and between time, I want you all to take care of each other, support, encourage, motivate, lift, don't push. For Adam, for Marquette, for Shelby, I'm Chip. And collectively, we're out.